Hello and welcome to the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council's annual National Interfaith Iftar, which we're holding today in partnership with the Combat Anti-Semitism Movement. I'm your host, Natasha Kirchik, an international TV anchor with I-24 News, and I'm delighted to host today's special celebration. Now, it's crazy to think that a year later, the COVID pandemic is still keeping us apart physically, but we've managed to come together yet again virtually. Now, remember, we're live on Facebook, on Twitter, on Zoom, and on YouTube. But if you miss anything, don't worry. You'll get an email recap and a link to the full video of the event. Now, AMWEC began its journey as the first Muslim women's civil rights organization back in 2011. A decade later, it continues to elevate Muslim women's voices, empower them to confront bigotry of all forms, to celebrate their faith's beautiful heritage, and to forge close bonds with fellow Americans of different religions and ethnicities. Well, today we're gathered in the spirit of interfaith solidarity to celebrate Iftar. Iftar is the breaking of the day-long fast for Muslims during the holy month of Ramadan. And now, more than ever, it's essential for us to unite to fight extremism and embrace the rich cultural diversity that gives America its strength. And today's diverse group of diplomats, bipartisan Congress members, and esteemed faith leaders is proof that coming together to break bread and opening our hearts and minds can help make the world a better place. Now, before we hear from our distinguished guests, I'd just like to mention the co-sponsors who helped make this event possible. They include Civic Spirit, the American Sephardi Federation, the Anti-Defamation League, the Indian Pluralism Foundation, California Southern University, Classrooms Without Borders, Muslims Against Anti-Semitism, and the National Education Association, among many others. All right, so let's kick things off now with Rayan Sayed, a middle school student who will recite Surah Fatiha, the first chapter of the Quran, asking for guidance from God. But that's not all. We're going to then hear welcoming remarks from Anila Ali, the president of AMWEC, and former Albanian lawmaker Valentina Leskaj, a board member for Combat Anti-Semitism. So without further ado, Rayan, the floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rayan Sayed, and I will be reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, or the opening, in English for you guys' better understanding. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. So now I would like to proceed with the translations of the surah. The opening. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the most compassionate, the most merciful, the master of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those who you have blessed, not of those who you incurred your wrath, nor those who have gone astray. Amen.
Wow. Amazing, Rayan. Thank you for that. I'd like to now welcome the woman who is behind today's celebration. Anila Ali is an educator. She's an author, a Muslim civil rights leader, and a women's rights advocate. She's the president of AMWEC, and for years, she's been fighting extremism and bigotry by forming bonds with people from different backgrounds and changing people's perceptions about what it means to be a Muslim. Now, for the past 7 years, Anila and her team have hosted interfaith iftars and united community leaders to inspire dialogue, understanding, and of course, celebration of diversity. Anila? Oh, let's make sure we can hear you. It looks like you're muted. There we go. All right. Thank
hope
you. We hear you,
can
Anila.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Salam, shalom, and good afternoon, everybody. Last year, beneath the Ramadan moon, a dark cloud hovered above us. We knew that Ramadan, like Passover, Easter, and Diwali, would not be the same. No gatherings with friends and family at the mosque or at people's homes. Fasting and prayer was to be in isolation. We were cut off from the community during a holiday that's all about community. But from this adversity came an opportunity for all of us, Muslims and non-Muslims alike. The pandemic compelled us to reflect on our lives, to learn to be a little more forgiving, a little more patient, and a lot more compassionate. Indeed, a deadly virus has targeted all of us, regardless of religious differences. Coming together as one is necessary to stop it. The pandemic has pushed us here at AMWEC to increase our circle of friends to help celebrate Ramadan. It's a reminder that differences between us are actually quite small, while the things we can accomplish together are great. And after all, we just saw the CEO of Pfizer, a Jewish son of Greek Holocaust survivors whose family was wiped out by the Nazis, joined together with 2 Muslim immigrants in Germany to develop a vaccine that is saving millions of people around the world. So I say again, the differences between us are insignificant, but the work that we can do together is world-changing. In the Quran, Allah says, "O mankind, we created you from a single pair of male and a female and made you into nations and tribes so that you may know each other. Truly, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you." The pandemic has given us an opportunity to get to know one another better and to work together to help improve humanity. I end with the traditional Ramadan holiday greeting, Ramadan Kareem. May you enjoy a holy month of caring, and may we all carry forward the spirit of the holiday throughout the year. Ameen, and thank you.
All right, Anila, would you like to introduce our next guest?
Our next guest is Ambassador Rahmani, am I right?
Our next guest is Valentina Leskash.
Okay, it's my pleasure to introduce my counterpart at CAM, at Valentina Leskash. She's a Muslim Albanian, and off to you, Valentina.
Thank you. Ramadan Kareem, Salamu Alaikum, and Shalom. I'm very grateful to join this Interfaith Iftar, such an important event that brings together people of all faiths and nationalities. Such events bring us closer to God and to each other. It serves as a catalyst for promoting the good understanding and peace. Unfortunately, nowadays we see more hate around the world, and we must look at the roots of the problem. The rise of the religious extremism, racism, bigotries sometimes are a product of ignorance, myths, and lack of education. But our past, when the Muslims and Christians lived together, should remember. Thus, I believe we need to invest more in education. This is the best investment that we can do. Education to tolerance, respect, and mutual care, protecting and nurturing common values, is for the future of our children and for everybody, in spite of the fact that they are Muslim, Jewish, or Christian. I think it's our right and obligation to stand on the right side, to fight for ending Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, and all forms of discrimination and hate, to promote dialogue, solidarity, and hope for our future, focusing in our common values rather than on things that can divide us, can break down the boundaries, and can build bridges and, of course, solidarity. And thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you, Anila and Valentina, for both of your inspiring messages. We're going to now watch a brief video from several AMWC board members who are all women that have demonstrated courageous and responsible leadership. Take a look.
Hi, I'd like to wish you all Ramadan Kareem. I pray that all your wishes, all your prayers become a reality, and may this blessed month bring us all health, wealth, and prosperity. Thank you all.
I would like to wish all of you a very happy Ramadan and a blessed Ramadan. Ramadan Kareem.
Hello and Assalamu alaikum. My name is Bushra Mateen and I'm a proud board member of AMVAC, and I wish you the heartiest happy Ramzan, and I wish peace and blessings that this month brings upon you.
I'm Dinah Frieden. I'm a Jewish woman and a proud member of American Muslim Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council. This organization is so powerful because we all together support one another's beautifully diverse cultures. We embrace diversity and we build cultural bridges. It is an honor for me at this time to wish everyone far and wide who observe this holy month of Ramadan a Ramadan Mubarak.
I would like to extend my warmest greetings to the Muslim community.
Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Rana Sayyed from AMVAC. I welcome you all today here for the virtual iftar. Inshallah, hope you all enjoy, and may Allah bless this Ramadan, each and everyone, all Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings upon you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy your iftar. Thank you so very much. Happy Ramadan.
Beautiful. All right, to begin the journey of this iftar celebration, I'd like to welcome His Excellency Omar Hilali, Morocco's ambassador to the United Nations. Now, Morocco has a long history of religious coexistence and tolerance, and last year it was one of 4 Arab countries to agree to normalize ties with Israel. So, Ambassador Hilali, thank you so much for being with us here today. Let's see, is the ambassador here? Okay, can you turn on the microphone? Let's see. All right, it looks like we're having a little bit of technical oh, wait, actually, this might be happening. The beauty of Zoom, my friends. All right, for now, we're going to move on to our next guest until we have the ambassador with us again, okay? All right, so our next guest is Ahmed Shahid, UN Special Rapporteur on Freedom of Religion and Belief, who has been actively involved in recent years in global efforts to fight religious prejudice. Now, Special Rapporteur Shahid, we're very pleased that you're with us today. Let's see if we have you on Zoom. There you are. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Kareem, and Shalom. I'm delighted to attend this interfaith iftar organized by the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council and Combat Anti-Semitism. It's a real honor to join all participants today, to hear from all speakers and to share some of my own thoughts with you. First of all, I want to recall how I have in my work for the UN stressed the importance of promoting interfaith engagement as a way to advance mutual understanding, learn about each other, build friendship, and promote intercommunal, interpersonal solidarity. Such activities are particularly important in a world of rising intolerance, where both online and offline, there's a surge in the promotion of negative stereotypes, conspiracy myths, and other tropes about various communities, as we saw in the pandemic. Such hate speech is in itself odious, but have also time and time again incited acts of violence and discrimination, including mass atrocities and horrific acts of genocide. As often rightly said, the Holocaust did not begin with the gas chambers. It began with hate speech and prejudice. It is therefore so important to pursue all efforts to combat hate speech. People like us who are committed to advancing peaceful societies to come together, break bread, share insights, and draw inspiration from each other. One of the common threads that run through efforts to incite hatred is to make the real conduct of people who are targeted invisible, so as to replace real human beings with tropes and negative stereotypes. Another aim is to silence and marginalize communities and to erase the presence and visibility of diversity. One of the best antidotes, therefore, to that is to celebrate diversity and to build intercommunal bridges and showcase the diversity. Interfaith engagements are mutually beneficial through asserting solidarity and by enriching our own lives by such solidarity. As I am in the UK, this is my actual iftar time, so I'm really glad to spend my iftar time in the company of fellow travelers in the cause of promoting a better world for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Special Rapporteur Shahid, for joining us. We are now honored to speak with priest Zarir Bandara, who's been a leader in the Zoroastrian community for many years. He's a peacemaker and he's a friend of the Muslim and Jewish communities. Priest? Okay, let's see if we can hear you.
Thank you. Ramzan Kareem, Salam Alaikum, Shalom. I bring you the greetings of peace and unity from one of the world's oldest religions of the world, Zoroastrianism. I thank the organizers and the president of American Muslims Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council, Mrs. Anila Ali, for this Iftar Interfaith meeting. May peace and healing be upon us. Peace begins with the loving understanding and caring of ourselves and other human beings and human doings. All living beings, our earth, our environment, including plants, animals, and all natural resources. Energy flows where the attention goes. So it is important to be conscious about what we think, speak, and do. Our individual actions affect us and affect the whole universe. That is why one of the main tenets of our Zoroastrian religion includes good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. And also an equal status to women and men. God can be seen and revealed in many different ways, and which is why we have different religions. We believe that the religion we have taken birth in is the path to God, the path that God has prescribed for us, and to attain salvation, our purest light, and progress physically and spiritually. We have different religions, different paths, but one goal. We are diverse, yet we need to be united. Just like in the nature, everything is diverse, yet works in synchronization. Even within our religions, we have different beliefs, but we should not allow our differences to divide us, but to unify us, unite us, and strengthen us. Live and let live should be our motto. Thereby we will bring more peace, unity, harmony, love, and healing in this world. We can spread the sweetness of peace, maintaining our own individuality in the ocean of humanity. I wish all of you, my friends, Ramzan Eid Mubarak in advance, and inshallah, we will meet soon again in person. Thank you. God bless you all.
What beautiful words. Thank you for joining us and reminding us of the importance of diversity, even in our belief systems. All right, we are now going to hear from Democratic Congressman Ted Deutsch, Jamie Raskin, and Republican Congressman Lee Zeldin.
Hi, I'm Ted Deutsch. I'm proud to represent Florida's 22nd Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives, and I'm honored to be with you today to wish you a happy Ramadan. Thank you to President and Founder Anil Ali for the invitation to be with you today for the Council's Interfaith Iftar. This is a special time of year for Muslims across the country and around the world to celebrate spirituality and to reapply it to their daily lives. Thanks to the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for your important work lifting up women leaders within Muslim communities across the country. As you prepare to reflect this month on our shared goals of improving the world, you should be encouraged by your remarkable work and achievements over the course of the past 12 years, building community bonds and empowering women in their careers and communities and families. I know we share many priorities, including the Council's work with combat anti-Semitism to fight back against all forms of bigotry and to create awareness and acceptance that provides Americans of all faiths the freedom and safety to celebrate their heritage and culture openly. While I regret I'm unable to celebrate with you in person, I truly have hope for a safer and healthier year that will bring us together next Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak.
For all those celebrating in New York, the United States, and around the world, Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan is a time for happiness, reflection, and prayer, and teaches to reflect on the ways to do good not only in our community, but our entire country. The fabric of our great nation is made up of those from a variety of ethnic backgrounds, religions, and beliefs. It is this diversity of ethnicity, of religion, of thought that makes us the most prosperous and powerful nation in the world. This iftar serves as a fantastic reminder of the similarities we hold dear. This iftar comes at an important time as we recover from this past year and look forward to life returning to normal. But there's a lot more work to do. Ethnic hatred and xenophobia are on the rise. In New York, we see rising cases of anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and attacks against Asian Americans. As we recognize this iftar, we must not only recognize it as a celebration for our Muslim brothers and sisters, but as a time to come together as Americans. We must show how hatred can be defeated through interfaith cooperation and bridging cultural divides. An inspiring example of this is what is happening thousands of miles away in the Middle East with the Abraham Accords. The normalization of ties between Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan proves that differences in religion and previously entrenched hatred can no longer divide us. I applaud and praise all those involved in these historic accords and pray that those of us living in the States can heed the lessons of friendship and acceptance that the leaders of these countries have demonstrated to the world. We must work together to rid our community of hate and take concrete action to use this month to bring healing and reconciliation, not just within the Jewish community, but beyond, between Jews and Muslims in communities around the world.
Hey, it's Congressman Jamie Raskin, and Ramadan Mubarak to all of my friends out there. Happy Ramadan to everybody celebrating. I want to thank the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for inviting me to join you for a minute, and also for empowering Muslim American women to be leaders in strengthening our community in so many ways. And we need women at the forefront of social change and political involvement, as well as economic empowerment. When you look around the world, we know that the single best anti-poverty strategy there is to empower women, educate women, and give women choices and control over their own families and childbirth. That's what works to eliminate poverty and to confront so many of our social problems. So women need to be put in the forefront of leadership at every level. Thank you for what you do. And again, Ramadan Mubarak, everyone.
Thank you, Congressman. We are now pleased to welcome Shelley Krajewczyk, a member of the National Education Association's Executive Committee.
Hello, I'm Shelley Krajewczyk from the National Education Association, and I bring you greetings today on behalf of our President, Becky Pringle, Vice President Princess Moss, and Secretary Treasurer Noel Candelaria. It is an honor for the National Education Association to be with you today in celebration, solidarity, and prayer. We are educators all across this great nation and on our U.S. military bases. Over 3 million members of the National Education Association join you in your mission. It is the mission of the National Education Association to bring our nation and our members together to help every student to succeed in a diverse and interdependent world. We know that children are not born knowing hate. We know that hatred, bigotry, anti-Semitism are all learned. And it is our work, it is our heart that will work to make sure that those children don't just unlearn to hate, but learn to love and celebrate, that they learn that in our differences there is great value, that they learn to honor varieties in faith and worship and culture. And we aspire to bring those differences into our classrooms every day and to lift them up and to celebrate them. And we honor the work that this fabulous organization does as you model for us how we can do that in our classrooms. And so on behalf of the 3 million members of the National Education Association who are working every day to support your mission by bringing folks together in their classrooms, we support you in celebration and prayer on this day and every day forward. It is our work to work together to make sure that the next generation only knows honor, only knows respect, only knows the value of each other's uniqueness, and does not know hate, bigotry, and anti-Semitism. Together, we can and we will eradicate the horrible injustices and systemic racism that exists within our nation. Thank you.
Beautiful words. A reminder, children are not born with hate. We need to remember this. All right, coming up next is a performance by Charanjit Virdi, known as CJ in Bollywood and in Hollywood. As a member of the Sikh faith, he is going to be performing, singing a Muslim religious song or hymn praising the Almighty. Take a look.
Assalamu alaikum, shalom, and Ramadan Mubarak. First of all, I would like to thank AMWEC, the president of AMWEC, Anila Ali, and entire team to giving me this honor to be a part of it every year. And I feel humbly honored, and I'll be performing the hymn Hamd tonight for all of you. Ramadan Mubarak once again. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. Khudi ka sir niha, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. Khudi hai tegh fasa, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. Ye malo daulat duniya, ye rishtao pe band. Ye malo daulat duniya, ye rishtao pe band. Butane vehe mugma, butane vehe mugma, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. یہ دور اپنے براہیم کی تلاش میں ہے، یہ دور اپنے براہیم کی تلاش میں ہے. صنم قدا ہے جواں، لا الہ الا اللہ، لا الہ الا اللہ. یہ نغم فصل گلو لالا کا نہیں پابند، بہار ہو के खिज़ां बाहर हो के खिज़ां ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह अगरचे बुत है जमात की आस्तीनों में अगरचे बुत है जमात की आस्तीनों में मुझे है हुक्म अज़ां मुझे है हुक्म अज़ां ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह ला इलाहा illallah. Thank you so much. Ramadan Mubarak once again. And thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow. Wow. Just so wonderful. It's hard to move on from that, right, everybody? I could see how much everyone enjoyed hearing your beautiful, beautiful voice. But we are going to shift gears a bit now, and we're going to hear from Rabbi Peter Levy, the regional director of the Anti-Defamation League in Orange County, Long Beach. He and the ADL have been among AMWEC's closest partners. So, Rabbi Levy, welcome.
Great. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Anila, for inviting me to be part of this wonderful group of individuals and our continued partnership in the fight against hate. And a Ramadan Mubarak to all. May this time of fasting and feasting with its emphasis on patience, forgiveness, and compassion be both meaningful and joyous for our Muslim brothers and sisters. And I'd like to reflect just a moment on that kinship. There's a story in the Hebrew scriptures that tells how Jacob fools his father and steals his brother's birthright. Now his brother Esau swears to kill him, and a year passed, and then appears that Esau is coming with 400 men. But when they meet, instead of vengeance and violence, they fall on the ground in an embrace, weep. Why? To understand the ancient world of the scriptures, but in that world, there was actually very few mirrors, if at all. So if people could ever see their own action, perhaps it would be best ever done in a distorted pool of water. But now, suddenly, Jacob and Esau, who were twins, though they weren't identical, they saw one another for the first time in 20 years. You have to imagine, what did they feel? Imagine after all those years, they saw a complete stranger. But then as closer, they saw a brother, and ultimately saw themselves in the face of the other. Right? And this is the way it is for all of us. Scripture is trying to teach us how to look at first like a stranger and sister or brother. Then we realize they're very much the same like ourselves. They share our dreams, they share our pains. And in a world of terror and fear of the other, this lesson is all the more powerful now than it's ever been. Stranger, sibling, self. That's the lesson that we all need to save the world. And I know certainly AMWAC and ADL on our journeys together is committed to bringing strangers together, to truly seeing one another, and not just siblings, but ultimately seeing ourselves in the other. We do this when we fight against hate in our communities and across the globe. We do this when we expose extremism for what it is. We do this when we deliver anti-bias education and bullying prevention in schools. We do this in law enforcement through intelligence briefings and workshops. They can be the best that they are. We do fight hate online in all stations. And we do this, advocate for the civil rights of minority and marginalized groups. So I pray that you're able to celebrate in peace and security that. And we at ADL and in the Jewish community, we see our Muslim sisters are different from than ourselves. We're all here simply trying to earn a living, educate our children, stay healthy, give back to our communities. It's holy time. May it be a time of healing and transformation for ourselves and for a better world. Ramadan Mubarak, a Ramadan of blessing.
Rabbi, very important words. We are now going to move to Congresswoman Katherine Clark, who represents Massachusetts' 5th District. She's a 4th-ranking member of Congress. Congresswoman Clark, I'd like to thank you for joining us today.
Hello, I'm Congresswoman Katherine Clark, and I want to wish all American Muslims a Ramadan Mubarak as you observe this holy month. Thank you to the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for your work empowering Muslim American women. I am so proud to serve alongside a record number of women elected to the 117th Congress, as well as our first woman Vice President, Kamala Harris. It couldn't be clearer. When women have a seat at the table, families have a voice in Washington. It is from our personal experiences that we draw our passion and our purpose, and we will continue to grow our ranks and claim our seat at the table, because we know when women succeed, we all succeed. Thank you, and I hope you have a happy and healthy Ramadan.
Wow, those were some amazingly inspiring messages. Next, we're going to hear from an outstanding diplomat and American leader at the Department of State. Mrs. Elizabeth Orban is the acting principal Deputy Assistant Secretary and Deputy Assistant Secretary for Regional Multilateral Affairs at the Bureau of Near Eastern Affairs at the US Department of State. Ms. Orban has a long career in diplomacy, having served in Algiers, Tel Aviv, Toronto, and Hong Kong, among other places, and we are honored by her presence. Mrs. Elizabeth Orban, our Deputy Secretary now.
Thank you so much, Anila. I really appreciate the invitation to be with you all today. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, and Ramadan Mubarak. It's great to be with this group as you celebrate the holiest month of the Muslim calendar year. We all remain inextricably intertwined through the commonalities that run through all our traditions. The practice of prayer, contemplation, and devotion, the spirit of charity and compassion for those in need. Friends and family gathering around the table or Zoom calls during the pandemic. As a US diplomat, I've had the privilege of working alongside many incredible women and men who come from different religious, ethnic, economic, and national backgrounds. These men and women and their families have been colleagues and interlocutors. Whether it is in the State Department building in Foggy Bottom, here in Washington, D.C., where I am sitting, or on the streets of Algiers and New Delhi, or at an NGO in Cairo or Karachi, or at this interfaith iftar today, I see all around me extraordinary women and men of courage who dare to build bridges where others see red lines. Those bridges stand strong against hate. They transcend similarity of practice to achieve solidarity of purpose. And that's a purpose that requires courage, kindness, compassion, grace, and commitment. As we all work together to build a peaceful and just world order, this purpose compels us towards a partnership of cooperation, which is critically needed in solving the weighty problems that we face today. We need cooperation in the face of this COVID pandemic, where we must all do our part to protect our loved ones and communities, both near and far. We need it to stand up to the perpetrators who attack others because of the color of their skin or their ethnic, religious, or other parts of their origin. We need it to advocate for the Muslim women who want to join a boxing team in a small town outside of Kigali, or the young Afghan woman who wants to run for office in Kunduz. We need it to tackle the climate crisis globally, especially in places like Bangladesh or Egypt, where they are highly vulnerable to rising sea levels. So today, let us draw inspiration from the commonalities in our practice and purpose that make us partners, and let us act with grace and tolerance to build transformative partnerships for an equitable and peaceful world. I wish you a delicious iftar and a blessed Ramadan.
All right. Thank you so much for those words. It is now time to hear from several religious leaders, each representing a very different faith. We'll start with Reverend David Lindsay, who's the Executive Director of the Interfaith Council of Metropolitan Washington. Reverend Lindsay, thanks for being with us.
Greetings from the Interfaith Council of Metropolitan Washington. As we just heard, I'm Reverend Dr. David Lindsay, the Executive Director of the Interfaith Council. Many thanks to Anila Ali for inviting me to be here with you. Here in the DC area, the IFC was born more than 4 decades ago out of the conviction that diversity only strengthens the unity of our communities. Today, the need for transformational unity is even more important. As members of the Baha'i, Buddhist, Hindu, Jain, Jewish, Latter-day Saint, Muslim, Protestant, Roman Catholic, Sikh, and Zoroastrian faiths, we are resolved to build an inclusive community that one day people of all religious backgrounds will feel welcomed, respected, and appreciated for their common values and for their diverse beliefs and practices. One practice that is common to many of our faith traditions is fasting. We see this in Ramadan for the Muslim community, Yom Kippur for the Jewish community, Lent for the Roman Catholic community and several Protestant communities, a Sunday fast for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the 19-day fast for the Baha'i community, a vegetarian diet for the Jain community, and the diverse fasting practices across the Hindu and Buddhist communities. In each case, these faith traditions have concluded that people need to refrain from eating certain foods at certain times in order to deepen their spiritual life. And so we wish the Muslim communities across the world all the best in this month of fasting. May you have a Ramadan Mubarak, a blessed Ramadan. Even if you cannot gather at the mosque in the way that you would like right now, may this time still deepen your faith, increase your hope, and expand your loving kindness. Blessings to all.
Next, we are honored to have with us Archbishop Elpidio Foros, who will talk about the similarities in fasting between the Muslim and the Christian Orthodox faiths.
Distinguished participants, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I greet all of you with the salutation of peace, and I offer my most sincere congratulations and best wishes to my Muslim friends for the holy month of Ramadan. Fasting, as you know, is an important dimension of our religious life and experience. Even though we don't all fast in the same way, its spiritual meaning offers an inspiring proximity. Fasting brings us closer to God. Fasting helps us connect with our brothers and sisters in humanity and with the entire creation. Ramadan is indeed a time of spiritual growth and sharing with the poor. I would like to commend the American Muslims and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for organizing this virtual interfaith iftar. Despite our separation, our desire to be together transcends the current physical limitations and through virtual means nourishes our common commitment to peace, to harmony, and to dialogue. Thus, interfaith activities and initiatives remain crucial to building bridges and not ramparts, extending open arms rather than a raised fist. This is especially true for the Muslim community in this country. Dialogue is the only response to battle prejudices and bigotry. With renewed esteem and fraternal greetings, I convey to all of you friendly wishes for a fruitful month of Ramadan. I pray at the same time next year the circumstances will allow us to share this iftar together in person as a sign of our respect and love for one another. Ramadan Mubarak. Happy Ramadan.
It's so important to celebrate our differences, but also our similarities, because there are so many at the end of the day. All right, next I would like to present a Muslim American public servant, Mr. Farouk Mita. Mr. Mita is the director of the Office of Small Business Programs and has previously served as President Biden's advisor on Muslim relations. He's the most senior Muslim official in the Biden administration. So, Mr. Mita, we're so delighted to have you here with us.
Good afternoon and Assalamu alaikum to everybody. Ramadan Mubarak. It's really an honor to be with such an esteemed group of speakers. And Anila, thank you so much for including me in the event today. You know, Ramadan is a really important time in the Muslim community where we can gather, have spiritual reflection, break our fast together. And I remember last year when the pandemic hit, it was a different Ramadan. We weren't able to gather and convene the way we normally could. But Muslim Americans across the country still found a way to celebrate and to gather often like this through Zoom and still do the acts of charity that are so important and that are such a pivotal part of our faith. I spent the last year advising then candidate Joe Biden on Muslim American affairs and was recently appointed in February to this position I'm in now as the Director of Small Business Programs at DoD. And really, this is all about how we bring people together. I really want to commend the American Muslim Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for bringing people together from across different faith communities and different backgrounds. You know, in my job, I do the same, but I do it with businesses. How do we bring together businesses of all different types that want to work with the federal government, but also to bring equity and inclusion in how federal procurement can give people an opportunity. So no matter what part of the government that we serve in or what role we play, there's always a role to bring people together, to do good work. And of course, Ramadan is a great opportunity for charitable giving and for bringing people together. So I'm really glad to be here and thank you all for including me in the event today.
Thank you for being with us. Ramadan Mubarak. All right, joining us now is Rabbi Marcia Tilchin. She is the founder and the president of the Jewish Collaborative of Orange County and the president of the Orange County Interfaith Council. Rabbi Marcia has been a close AMWEC ally, and we're so delighted to hear from her. Is she with us, Rabbi? There you are. Okay.
Hi. I'm so honored to be here. This is just a moving experience beyond words. I want to begin my little share today on the importance of interfaith friendship. And I'm going to begin by chanting a line from the book of Ruth. Vatomer Ruth al tifkehi vi le'ozvech lashuv me'acharayich ki El asher telchi elech, uva asher talini alin, amech ami, ve'elohayich Elohai. Anila, I dedicate this to you. One of the most touching and pivotal tales in all of Jewish sacred literature is the relationship between Ruth the Moabite and her mother-in-law, Naomi. They had an interfaith friendship that literally changed the course of history. Naomi, her husband and 2 sons moved to Moab from Bethlehem to escape famine. All the men died prematurely, and both sons had married Moabite women. One of the daughters-in-law, Orpah, returns to her home, but Ruth decides to stay with Naomi, who is now literally all alone. Ruth did not come from a Jewish family, and yet she is so drawn to her mother's heart that she insists on following her. What I chanted was the line she says, "Do not urge me to leave you. Do not make me turn back, for wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people." At no point in the story does Ruth relinquish her identity as other, and that is not a point against her. Back in Canaan, while she's gleaning in the fields around Bethlehem because they're very poor, Boaz notices that she's a stranger and makes sure that she is protected from danger and molestation. Later, Ruth and Boaz marry and give birth to a son. And this son is able to honor the genealogical histories of Elimelech and Machlon, two names that mean "my God is king" and "forgiven one." Ruth's son becomes the grandfather of King David, and in the Jewish tradition, the Messiah will come from King David. In Christian lore, Jesus comes from the line of David and Ruth is one of only a handful of women mentioned in the genealogy of Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew. So the historical echoes and implications of this interfaith friendship is unmistakable. People of different backgrounds can share a love and loyalty that has the capacity to heal both individuals, communities, and of course, ultimately, the entire world. This is the work that AMWEC is doing with all of their partners, inviting each of us into a circle of one human family. And I just want to say, I'm honored to be with you. May this be a season of great blessing and growth. Ramadan Mubarak. Toda Rabah.
Wow, what a beautiful story to hear and just so timely. All right, Rabbi Tilchin, our next speaker is a fearless advocate for women's rights and gender and racial equality. Congresswoman Judy Chu represents the 27th District of California. She serves on the powerful House Ways and Means Committee and the House Small Business Committee as well.
Hello, I'm Congressmember Judy Chu, and I want to wish you all a Ramadan Mubarak. I am so happy to be joining with the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council and all of you today at this time of joy, prayer, and reflection. I'm especially grateful to the AMWEC and your president, Anila Ali, for your leadership in lifting up and empowering women. This leadership has been particularly meaningful in the last year as we made history by electing Kamala Harris as the first woman and first woman of color to ever serve in the White House. I know how much this means because when I was young, I never imagined I would serve in government because I never saw anyone who looked like me. But now that is changing for a whole new generation of future leaders. That is the power of change when we have women at the table and in leadership position, and it is why AMWEC's work is so important. And I also want to thank you for your commitment to unity. In a diverse district like mine in Southern California, that dedication to bringing people together in peace is why I so look forward to iftars like this, where our community can come together and share a meal and get to know each other more. But while the pandemic has unfortunately made those kinds of in-person gatherings impossible for now, the good news is we are finally turning a corner. We have already far surpassed President Biden's initial goal of 100 million vaccines in 100 days, and we are still making progress with more vaccines being administered every day across all 50 states. That means that by next year, I hope we can be celebrating an iftar together in person. So thank you again for inviting me, and I wish you all a joyous and meaningful Ramadan.
Keynote speaker, Her Excellency Ambassador Roya Rahmani. Roya Rahmani is the first woman to serve as Afghan ambassador to the United States of America and non-resident ambassador to Argentina, Mexico, the Dominican Republic, and Colombia. Previously, she served as Afghanistan's ambassador to Indonesia, Singapore, ASEAN, and she was the first Director General for Regional Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Afghanistan. She has 2 decades of experience working with NGOs, multilateral organizations, and various government agencies. In 2017, Indonesia Tatler named her People's Ambassador. In 2019, she was featured on Time Magazine 100 Next list as a fierce advocate of peace on Afghan terms. It is my honor as a Muslim woman to welcome you to this iftar. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Okay, give us a second. We're going to wait for her to open the camera. 1 second. We're working on it. Technical difficulties. She's almost with us. I think we've been doing pretty well so far, Anila, given, you know, the difficulties of being connected from around the world through the internet, right?
Absolutely. We are doing pretty well. I think we're good on time as well. And thank you everyone for staying with us.
Absolutely. And remember, you know, if you're just joining in, you can find us on Facebook, on YouTube. This entire conference is going to be recorded and it will be sent directly to your email as well. So don't worry if you're just joining in right now. We have another second or so. Let's see, are we going to get our guest up? All right, guys, what we're going to do is continue with our next guest until we are able to get this guest up, because unfortunately there's some technical difficulties, but no worries. Our next guest originally came to the U.S. as a student before immigrating here. Her list of achievements in the business community is long, and today she's here as the president and CEO of National Asian Pacific Islander American Chamber of Commerce and Entrepreneurship. Ms. Chiling Tong, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Chiling Tong. I'm the president and CEO of National Asian Pacific Islander American Chamber of Commerce and Entrepreneurship. We represent about 2.2 million AAPI business owners, employ about 3.6 million people. And I'm just so proud to be a part of this event and honored to contribute to today's Interfaith Iftar event in observation of a holy Ramadan. I just want to take this opportunity to thank my dear friend Anila Ali for inviting me to speaking for this about our AAPI business community and share our hardship and appreciation during these difficult times. Anila, it is such a pleasure just working with you and the ANMWEC on so many important issues regarding rebuilding our community, the economy, immigration, women's rights, the civil rights, and most importantly, now stopping anti-AAPI sentiment once and for all. Also, I want to salute all the leaders here, or religious, community, political leaders. This is such an inspiring event. When I hear all your remarks, I feel this is the beauty of America. Today, our community stand together as a line in solidarity to fight this hate, discrimination, and bias our community faced. Ramadan is a very reflective and important time for all of us now. Although celebration is slightly different because during the pandemic, but this is a time to fast, take a pause, gather and pray together as a community. We must take a time to pause, take a look around, and see the beauty of each of our cultures and contributing to this great country. The Asian American Pacific Islander community is an important part of American fabric, representing a wide range of diversity. We consist about 50 different ethnic groups. And now I have seen all of us here together. Anila, I just want to tell you, thank you for your leadership to bring all of it here. We are the America's fast-growing ethnic group. We have made a significant contribution to American society, to our strong economy, productivity, job creation, and cultural contribution. But the state of AAPI community is in jeopardy. We are dealing with two viruses. One is COVID, another one is hate. We are, as a national ACE, or very focused on business side, but also with our whole AAPI community. And our focus is the immediate needs of our community. We are, many of our AAPI small business owners, they share with us their very, very difficult situation right now. They try to keep their business open, but they are facing staying safe and having to implement dramatic measures like added security. And this measure affect their business profit, their livelihoods, and worse, impact multi-generation families. We're just so proud that we'll be able to work with you, all of you, in solidarity. And our work has just begun. Again, I want to thank American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for hosting this powerful, powerful celebration and bring all of us together. Together, we'll make Asian American and Pacific Islanders strong and also make America strong. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Tong, for your words. We're going to now turn to His Excellency, Stavros Lambrianidis, European Union Ambassador to the U.S. Now, Ambassador Lambrianidis is also the former EU Special Representative for Human Rights, former VP of the European Parliament, and former Foreign Minister of Greece. He's committed to fighting for gender equality and to uplifting women and young girls around the world.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Stavros Lambrinidis, and I'm the European Union's ambassador to the United States. And let me start by saying how touched and honored I am to have the opportunity to share a short message with you and your distinguished guests from all over the country at this year's virtual Interfaith Iftar. The work of the American Muslim Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council, the work that is doing to confront bigotry, erase discrimination, and elevate women to leadership roles, it's vital. Your actions, dedication, and partnership will help realize a future where Muslim women here and indeed women everywhere of all faiths and races can expect to be fully empowered members of society. When I was the European Union Special Representative for Human Rights before coming to Washington, I frequently traveled to countries where the rights of women leave a lot to be desired. During that time, Malala Yousafzai, the young education activist from Pakistan, was shot in the head by the Taliban while on a bus returning home from taking an exam. It was retaliation for your educational activism, pure and simple. I made it a habit, a very uncomfortable one at times, to confront leaders in many countries with the simple question, what's so scary about smart girls? Invariably, the answer was deafening silence or a plea to understand the need to fight terrorism or to achieve economic development. Why are you raising human rights issues, Mr. Lambrinidis, and souring our relationship when we should be working on these other issues instead? I never found that convincing. The truth is, smart, educated girls grow up to be empowered women, and empowered women build empowered societies, closing up the black holes where extremists spread hatred, fear, and division. By their actions, terrorists tell us every day what they hate. They hate human rights. So if you really want to fight terrorists, educate girls and boys. And if you truly want to achieve economic development, how will you succeed if women, half of your population, do not enjoy the same economic and leadership opportunities as your men? In the European Union, over several decades, we have made enormous strides in increasing the participation of women in our governance and in our workforce. For the first time in our history, the European Commission is led by a woman, Ursula von der Leyen. Her cabinet is the most gender-balanced ever. The percentage of women elected to the European Parliament is now 40%, compared to only 15% back in 1979. These achievements have enriched us as a union, but we have much more to do, and we know it, including equal pay for equal work and combating gender-based violence. Internationally, The European Union is the world's leader in promoting the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which the EU ensured would mainstream women's empowerment throughout. Our support every day builds schools, daycare centers, hospitals, trains teachers, trains police and judiciary to enforce women's rights, and supports civil society to bring change from the ground up. I commend AMWEC for your multifaceted work and commitment to fight bigotry and extremism with knowledge, with compassion, and by reaching out and forging connections to law enforcement, community and faith leaders, and representatives from all walks of life, including myself. This is also why we are doing here today something very important. We are coming together in the holy month of Ramadan, sharing our aspirations and supporting one another. Thank you again. Congratulations on your work, and wishing you all a blessed Ramadan and every success in your ongoing endeavors. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ambassador Lambrianidis. Our next guest is the one that we were trying to get on before. We're going back to the Afghanistan ambassador to the U.S., Roya Rahmani. Ambassador, welcome. I hope we have you. There you are.
Thank you. Good afternoon and good evening, depending on wherever you are in the world. Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon you. I want to start by wishing you all a blissful Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak. It's such a pleasure to be joining you around the world in celebrating this holy month and during today's iftar. Thank you to the American Muslim Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for hosting today's event and for bringing together such a wonderful, diverse group of speakers. We all know, or at least all of the Muslims who are participating in today's discussion are aware and familiar with the Surah of Al-Asr, which says that most human beings are surely lost, except for those who have believed and done the righteous deed and advised each other to the truth and advised each other to the patience. This surah captures the experience and spirit of Ramadan. It is about exercising integrity and behaving justly, about finding patience and exhibiting empathy. These are the principles that I have chosen to reflect upon throughout this holy month and speak about today. My journey as a Muslim woman, as an Afghan woman, has not been easy. Growing up, I saw more battlefields than I saw playgrounds. I spent my youth in the context of conflict and transience. These are familiar struggles to the women and men of my country. We have known loss as our beloved ones became victims to war, and too many have had to leave our homelands as refugees. At times, we have known hunger, we have known insecurity, and we have known fear. It is belief that has kept me and many of my fellow Afghans going in the face of constant challenges, belief in truth, belief in justice, and belief in integrity. It would be all too easy to be overwhelmed by the adversity we face, especially when women of Afghanistan do not just have to confront challenges of their country. Instead, we are continuously undermined, doubted, and tripped in our efforts to live as equal and dignified citizens. Even those who manage to overcome these obstacles and break barriers are placed under ruthless scrutiny. A woman in general, and Afghan women in my world in particular, in power is constantly under microscope. You can't be too rigid or too soft. You are either too conservative or not modest enough. If you are engaging, you should be more reserved. If you are reserved, you should be more engaging. Afghan women leaders and change makers are subjected to an impossible standard, then scorned when they cannot please the entire country all at once. Belief and patience are what gives us the strength to carry the burdens of their expectations, of loss, of the war we all know so well. The path to the future we seek is not easy one either. We strive for progress in a space that too often cling to harmful conventions. We look for peace in a country so inundated with conflict that anything less can sometimes feel almost foreign. We know, however, that we do not walk this path for ourselves. We open the door to those who will follow us. In undertaking this challenge, we have shortened the rocky road for the next generation. This has been clear in my experience. Often, I found myself the only woman at the table, full of men. In many of the places I have worked, I have been ignored and undermined by the men around me, even though we held the same rank. They and those who worked under them would literally and figuratively turn their back to me in a protest. I did not give up. I continued on until the day when they had to turn around, when they recognized and respected me. It makes a difference. It's my hope that now the next woman to serve alongside those men will be given the respect they deserve, that in a room of men, everyone will turn to them with open faces and acceptance. To walk the path we have chosen takes belief and patience, but it also takes a good deal of courage. We are often plagued with doubts, both those that bloom within ourselves and those planted by others. It can be disheartening to look around the room and see no one who looks like you. To know that you are the first to do something and wonder if you are capable. It takes courage to push those doubts aside and tackle the challenges in front of you. The Surah of Al-Asr says that humans are surely lost, except those who have believed. It reminds us to believe in the principles I mentioned earlier, but also to believe in ourselves. It takes courage to believe will sustain you as you walk the path. The future is ours so long as we continue to pursue it. I thank you.
Much for joining us, Ambassador. What a beautiful story and just so inspiring. Okay, we would like to welcome another very special guest. As one of AMWEC's founding board members, Anastasia Selberis is a leader of global education and interfaith partnerships. She joins us today as a vice chair of the House of Ruach, a nonprofit interfaith and service organization. So Anastasia, thank you for joining us today.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Anastasia Selberis, and I'm a longstanding board member of the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council. And today I also join you as the Vice Chair of the House of Ruach, an interfaith service organization committed to creating a world in which God would choose to live. And on behalf of this organization and its founder, Dr. Gwen Feinstone, I express our joy and continued commitment to advancing global interfaith initiatives with AMWEC. It was our pleasure to support AMWEC's Ramadan food drive this year, and we look forward to hopefully reuniting in person in the years to come. On a more personal note, I feel honored to speak among such a diverse group of venerable faith leaders, global diplomats, and esteemed participants from all over the world. As an Eastern Orthodox Christian and as a Greek American woman, it is especially meaningful to have His Eminence Archbishop Elpidoforos of America and to hear his sincere wishes and support for interfaith unity and dialogue. As AMWEC continues to combat bigotry and extremism by empowering women and uniting our diverse communities, I stand by the conviction that education is one of the most powerful tools in the world for positive change and healing. Our annual Interfaith Iftar is a beautiful testament to this and to the impact that individuals and institutions can make when we unite to celebrate our diversity. With that, I say thank you to AMWEC and to all who joined us today for educating, for listening, and for supporting our Muslim and multi-faith communities. May Muslims in America and all over the world have a blessed and peaceful holy month of fasting. Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. Our next guest is a committed fighter for women's rights and racial justice. Democratic Congresswoman Katie Porter represents California's 45th District, and she serves on the House Committee on Oversight and Reform, as well as the Committee on Natural Resources.
Ramadan Mubarak. I'm Congresswoman Katie Porter, and I represent California's 45th Congressional District. I'm so thrilled to join you today for the annual Interfaith Iftar. Every year, the holy month of Ramadan provides an opportunity to reflect and heal. Muslims around the world pause to remember past struggles in hopes of charting a better future. This year, I'm hopeful we can all draw strength from the fact that we're on a path to recovery from this pandemic. I'm grateful to represent a vibrant Muslim community. I know from firsthand experience how this community has enriched Orange County with its compassion, generosity, and strong spirit. During my first year in office, the Islamic Center of Irvine was kind enough to open its doors for us to host a town hall there. Today, while our houses of worship may still be closed, I'm honored for the opportunity to join you for this virtual event. When we are united together to serve our community, we can build a better one that builds on our commonalities and embraces the beautiful diversity that makes us strong. As we recover from a pandemic that has disproportionately pushed women and women of color out of the workforce, I'm grateful to be here with a group of powerful Muslim American women making a difference in our communities. I want to thank all members of AMWEC for inviting me to join your celebration. May this Ramadan bring you joy, health, and prosperity.
Beautiful. Thank you for your message, Congresswoman. We're now going to welcome Abigail Winokur, a Yeshiva University student and a Jewish activist involved in promoting interfaith ties. She's a past winner of the Combat Anti-Semitism Movement's Emma Lazarus Art Award, and she's going to share with us today a new poem that she wrote for this Iftar event. Take it away.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, and happy Ramadan to everyone celebrating. This is something I wrote after spending a semester at Hebrew University when I just really took in all the multiculturalism that exists in Jerusalem. It's called Jerusalem of Gold. The golden dome catches sunlight through my window, reflecting the melancholy of a fading day. By morning light awash with glory, the call to prayer thrumming across her curves. The constant pious calls to God reverberate like a whisper through my ear, as I ache to know what's inside, to know what secrets linger in green paint, under ancient prayer mats and dusty Korans, quoting the decor with devotion. Each day I look out into Jerusalem of the East. How different are the mismatched white stone houses encasing the golden shrine like a thick cocoon than the city I thought I knew. I knew a Jerusalem with the sharp scent of eucalyptus and the gentle aroma of rosemary, of Torah scrolls, Hasidim, and the Western Wall, of Hanukkah lights and fresh jelly donuts, of white talitot and rounded kippot, of Thursday night music blasting from Machane Yehuda and Friday night calls to the Sabbath bride, I knew a Jerusalem of Hashem. I'm learning a Jerusalem of hijabis, niqabis, green minarets, and calls to prayer, of Allah, of fragrant spices, Juma, and Damascus gate, of long rounded loaves of bread sprinkled with sesame, and streets packed with markets that mirror Mea Sharim. I'm learning one of Christmas lights in the Holy Sepulchre and the Via Dolorosa, where ancient nuns with rosary beads walk near a foreign tourist who snap memories of the devout. I'm trying to understand what all of this means for my Jerusalem. I know the Jewish quarter with her stray cats and prehistoric beggars. I can trace each vein of her white stones by memory and walk backwards down her winding stairs. I know her hidden gardens and oases in a city of dust and sand, hidden gems within the uniformity of the holy. I know the Armenian quarter with her multicolored thread rugs and fortress-like monasteries where Oscar Schindler's grave lies, adorned by wreaths and stones by those who pay tribute to his salvation. We seek the Christian quarter, cross-adorned and holy water anointed, with hidden treasures beneath a deceivingly small exterior. I seek the Muslim quarter with a shukran and an ahsan, inhale the mounds of colorful spice and linger near shimmering crescent moon necklaces. I seek my cousins. We are all of Abraham. There is a Jerusalem that I do not know behind the golden dome, hidden by what I strain to see, a Jerusalem that doesn't belong to only me. Thank you.
Wow, Abigail, that was beautiful. Very powerful. All right, our next speaker is a new friend of AMWEC, Rabbi Chaim Shefner from Kesher, Israel, the Georgetown Synagogue. We're so glad that you're here with us, Rabbi Shefner. The stage is yours.
Thank you. It's really such a thrill to be here with Anila and all of the organizations that are represented and my Muslim brothers and sisters who are all around the world fasting for Ramadan. Fasting that you are engaged in, as you know, is a very holy process. In Judaism, it's true, as I know it's true in Islam, that fasting is not just to make oneself have a difficult, day, but rather it's a pathway. In Judaism, as well as so many religions, it's a pathway to what we call in Hebrew teshuvah, return. It's not really repentance, it's return to who we really are. We really are good and godly at our core. Sometimes we forget this. Sometimes we enter times that are dark. And so fasting can be a wonderful tool in the process of this teshuvah, in the process of this return back on the path to the divine. Last year, after there was some terrible violence in New Zealand, actually 2 years ago, at a mosque there, I was compelled to go and to be with in a mosque with my my Muslim relatives, and so I went to the mosque closest to me on Massachusetts Avenue, and there, as I sat in the mosque and I listened to the Imam speak, he said, "It states in the Quran, one person who destroys another, it's as if they have destroyed an entire world. But one person who supports another, it's as if they have supported an entire world." And I smiled to myself at that moment because the Talmud, our ancient book of Jewish wisdom, says exactly the same thing. And so I realized how close we are in so many ways, Muslims and Jews, so many other religions. And if we can realize how much commonality we share, how we can begin to bring a world that is more peaceful and more redemptive. And so my prayer is that this Ramadan may be one for you that not only is inspiring to you spiritually, but that helps to support others, helps to turn us all outward toward each other, and helps to build a world that is more redemptive and more perfect and more peaceful. Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you so much for that, Rabbi Shefner. It's interesting. One person who supports another, it's as if he supported an entire world. I absolutely love that. Gonna remember that, gonna write that down. Now, speaking of tolerance, I'd like to give the floor to a peace educator from Hawaii. Dr. Maya Sotoro has been leading outreach and development initiatives. She's taught leadership for social change and conflict management for educators. And she's also worked as a political consultant for the Obama Foundation.
Aloha and Ramadan Mubarak to those of you observing Ramadan this spring. My name is Maya Sutoro. I'm a peace educator based in Hawaii. I'd like to give thanks to the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for inviting me here to share this video message with you today to acknowledge and give thanks to those of you who are working so rigorously to build bridges between faiths. Interfaith cooperation has the powerful and beautiful potential to create peaceful coexistence in our communities. And while we've always needed to do so, the extreme polarization we've seen in communities around the world in recent months is a stark reminder of why tolerance and understanding is so critical. Interfaith dialogue in particular builds that understanding by holding a safe space to exchange, explore, debate philosophies, ideas, goals, and traditions, and it also enables cooperative movement forward and work in the community. It allows those of us from multicultural families to better understand and accept the complexities of our identities. And no matter what belief systems we adhere to, we all have this collective mandate to build peace as a critical and central act of worship. My sincere gratitude to all of you who are doing this hard work, who are working alongside fellow faiths rather than in siloed ways, to those of you who are solving local and global issues with global and multi-faith perspectives. You are modeling a resilience and a vision of beloved community for young people that is so critical. You're fostering friendships, and your efforts save lives, truly, and keep our spirits strong and our optimism growing. Once again, Ramadan Mubarak, and I hope that you enjoy this time of prayer, reflection, and family and community connection. Aloha.
How lovely that you're joining us all the way from Hawaii. All right, my friends, it is now time for another performance. Jason Fetty is an English interfaith musician and songwriter who's joining our iftar for the second time. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Ramadan Kareem to all of you, and thank you again, Anila. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Alaikum. I'm going to sing a song that is maybe the most popular Jewish song, and it's a song from the Psalms. And let me read you the translation because there's only 2 lines. Okay, so one line is, hear what is good and pleasant, sitting as brothers also together. And I think that word also is really important because we hear about the differences and the similarities between our peoples as if they were equal, but they're not equal because the similarity, the differences are like boats on the ocean, and the similarities are the ocean itself. It's not, they're so deep. So it's one thing to be brothers. I have a brother, you know, and it's another thing to be really together. And that word in Hebrew, yachad, comes from the root of one. So to be together is to be one. Anyway, I'm going to sing you the song right now. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. טררירה זונג דיירה בודו שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. Ramadan Kareem, everyone.
What an awesome performance. Thank you so much for brightening our iftar. That was beautiful. We actually have people clapping from the control room. Now, as we near the conclusion of this event, we're going to hear from more religious leaders who are AMWEC partners, some for years and some only more recently. First, we're going to hear from Sheila Keen, the president of the President World Hindu Council, Orange County chapter. So, Ms. Keen, the floor is yours. Ms. Keen, can you unmute yourself? Oh, not yet. We still can't hear you. Try to unmute yourself. There's a little microphone down at the bottom that you just need to press on. All right, I think we can hear you. Perfect.
Of the World Hindu Congress, representing 1.5 million Hindu people of the third largest religion, that is, I am wishing a happy and Ramadan Mubarak. I also thank American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women Empowerment Council for inviting me to address at the Interfaith Iftar. Hindu religion is oldest religion with more than 5,000 years of recorded history. It extends beyond the definition of religion. More than 100 years ago, on September 11th, 1893, Swami Vivekananda proclaimed the great truths of Hindu religion at the World Parliament of Religions. His universal message is very relevant even today, so I attempt to repeat some of it. He says, I am proud to belong to religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. I am proud to belong to a nation which has sheltered persecuted and refugees of all religions. The whole religion of Hindus is centered in realization of divinity within. There is no polytheism for Hindu. Idol or temples or books are only the supports to realize that divinity within. It is unique that a Hindu sees divinity in feminine form, calling God as Divine Mother, but he does not abuse any other's idol. Unity in diversity in the plan of nature, and Hindu has recognized it. With all that spirit, today I want to express our feelings of friendship and understanding to all faiths. I wish eternal peace and harmony between all people of the world. As the verses from Vedas proclaim, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, Sarve santu niramaya, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om peace, peace, peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheila, for your words. Next up is Pastor Todd Stavrakos from the Gladwin Presbyterian Church and Partners for Peace.
Shalom, Assalamu alaikum. It is such an honor to be invited to be a part of this iftar and to join with all of you. And so I want to start by thanking AMWEC and Combat Anti-Semitism for the years worth of work that you have all done, fighting hatred, increasing toleration, and looking to work hand in hand with people of different faiths and different traditions. We all know the realities that in our society we're seeing an increase in hatred and hate speech and attacks against Asian Americans, against Jews, against Muslims, against people of color and different traditions. But we must not forget the bright light that shines in each of us as we do the work that we are doing today of joining together, proclaiming a joy in each of our traditions. It's a pleasure to be invited to participate in another faith tradition and their activities. I found that whenever I have had the opportunity to join with brothers and sisters of different traditions, I found my own light growing brighter because it reminds us of how God has meant for us to be living together. And that brightness will shine surely through the darkness of hatred. And so I commend all of you for the work you do. As we gather and celebrate this virtual iftar, I'm reminded that in the Christian tradition, Jesus did a fair amount of work around a table, of teaching, of sharing, of sitting down with friends and sitting down with people he wanted to be friends with, of sitting down with those who agreed with him, disagreed with him. But it was at the table that he greeted them and welcomed them into a common journey that he was trying to lay a vision for. This iftar is that table. Perhaps Zoom is our table this day as we gather around it and learn from each other and work and strive together. And so my prayer is that through Ramadan, the Muslim community continues to grow in its peace and work of justice, and that we too can join together with their fine and wonderful traditions of working for a better society, and that we of the Abrahamic traditions can set aside differences and work to create the loving kingdom that is the goal of each, and that we can learn to love Hindus and members of the Baha'i and all the traditions who want to just find a wonderful way of living together side by side, hand in hand. So prayers and blessings on this season. Again, it's been a joy to be a part of this. This is my first time and hopefully not my last time. And I pledge to walk together with each of you during this season. Blessings.
Thank you, Pastor Todd. I am so honored now to present Imam Syed Mahdi Al-Qazwini, who's been a partner of AMWEC from the very beginning, and he joins us every year to celebrate Iftar. Imam Al-Qazwini is a founder and the director of the Islamic Educational Center of Orange County. And to close our Iftar, Imam Al-Qazwini will be breaking the fast and sharing with us a few words about the significance of the Ramadan in the Muslim faith. Take it away.
Thank you. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be with you all. Ramadan Mubarak. For those of us who are observing, either by way of ritual obligation or by solidarity, or for those of us that choose to live vicariously through those who are observing and fasting, I wish many blessings upon you during this special time. It's a blessing to be with you all, and I cherish and miss so many of these familiar faces that we've been with year after year. Mrs. Ali and the AMWEC leadership, thank you so much for hosting us again. Imam Ali, alayhi salam, the son-in-law of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, known as the commander of the faithful and the leader of the Muslims, said the following. He said that people are of two types, either your brother in faith or your equal in humanity or creation. We are here to embrace our brothers in faith and our equals in humanity and creation. And thank you, Rabbi Peter Levy, for that lovely story on Jacob that reminded us of the beauty of brotherhood. I want to share with you an excerpt on love. And this was written by a good friend of mine who is a spiritual wayfarer in a recently published book. It says, love. It is the reason there is something instead of nothing. It is from the soil of love that all of existence blossoms into being. Love is why we are here. No one has the power to truly change a heart. Only God can decide what path we will walk on this spaciously beautiful earth. God is intentional, and nothing happens by accident. I am a snowflake in the sun, soon to dissolve back into the earth that once formed me, but God and his words are eternal and unchanging. You are a palace of hidden gems, and the greatest treasure you could ever find is already within you. Gold will melt, money will burn, but you carry the everlasting and mysterious breath of God inside of you, and that can never be taken away. Your connection with God is innate because it is His love that brought you to life and His love that keeps you alive. So it's no doubt that God loves us. In the Islamic faith, we are taught that one of the 99 names of God is Al-Wadud, the affectionate. What does God say about our love to Him? In the Quran, in chapter 2, verse 165, we read, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. But those who believe are the most passionate in their love for God. And I'm here to ask you, for us who we claim ourselves as believers in God, that we love God, how can we claim to love God, to honor God, to trust God, to respect God without doing the same for one another? It goes without saying that if we are to love God, we must love the creatures of God. If we are to honor God, we are to honor the creatures of God. If we are to respect God, we must respect the creatures of God. We must love, respect, honor, and trust one another. Although this is the second socially distant month of Ramadan we've experienced, at least in our lifetime, we remain spiritually near. And what better season to come together to express this sentiment to one another? I leave you with the blessings of God, and I pray that the Almighty places a hedge of protection around us all. Ameen. Amen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Imam Kazwini, for being here with us today and every year. Now, I'd like to invite our middle school student, Ryan Syed, back on the stage for the call to prayer. Ryan?
Assalamu alaikum. I will be doing the call to prayer in Islam. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
For that closing prayer. Anila, I'd like to turn to you now. The stage is yours for closing remarks.
Well, now we traditionally break our fasts with dates, and I have one here, but I'm not going to break my fast. I just want to share this is what we would traditionally break it with in the Muslim world. That's what brings the dates, bring us together. And in the South Asian world, we drink something called Ruh Afza. So with that, I thank all of you for honoring us with your presence. I'm proud to be your co-host. Thank you, my partners, Cam, and everybody else that's been with us. Team Cam and Team AMWEC, without you, this would not have been possible. You've made it a memorable event. I want to also thank each and every one of you that have been with us for an hour and a half plus. We are a nonprofit, and our work is possible with your support. So if you like what we do, please follow us on social media, www.amwec.org. Get involved, sign up, and contribute to help us grow. We thank you all for joining us throughout this world, and God bless you all. Happy Ramadan if you're celebrating. Otherwise, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anila, for those words. We have now come to the end of the iftar, and what a special event it has been. Only through interfaith unity can a better future for humanity be built. And we'd like to thank the co-sponsors who helped make this event a success, including Civic Spirit, the American Sephardi Federation, the Anti-Defamation League, the Indian Pluralism Foundation, Classrooms Without Borders, Muslims Against Anti-Semitism, and the National Education Association, among others. Now, if you missed any of the speakers, the entire event will be available for online viewing on AMWEC's Facebook page. Thank you so much for being here with us for this important occasion, and please make sure to visit the AMWEC website to get involved. We hope that this Interfaith Iftar serves as a starting point for more cross-religious and intercultural events that bring communities together. And finally, before we depart, we have some special guests with warm Ramadan greetings from Washington, D.C. Again, thank you all for joining us.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Bonnie Watson Coleman, Congresswoman from the 12th Congressional District. I want to wish all of our Muslim friends and neighbors a blessed Ramadan and a peaceful fast. The iftar is symbolic of inclusion and togetherness. Even in these difficult times where we are separated physically, we can and we must come together in other ways to uplift and support one another. In keeping with the theme of the community during the holy month of Ramadan, we must continue to recognize the importance of women and women of diverse backgrounds in positions of leadership. Combating extremism and hate in our society starts with inspiring and supporting diversity in our communities. I'd like to thank the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for their work empowering Muslim American women. This Interfaith Iftar embodies the Council's vision to champion cultural diversity and create enduring bonds with our neighbors of all backgrounds and faiths. I wish all those who are observing a peaceful and blessed month of fasting, thank you. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
I want to congratulate the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for all the great work that you do in our country. This is so important that we work with you and you work with us to do what's best for America as a whole. And so I want to wish you a very well Ramadan, very important season. God bless you again for the great work that you're doing. I'm Charlie Chris from Florida. Whatever I can do to be a further help to you, please don't hesitate to ask. God bless you all.
Hello, everyone, and happy Ramadan. I am honored to be a part of your Interfaith Iftar. I have been impressed by the work of the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council to fight religiously motivated hate and bigotry through inclusivity and fostering shared experiences. Ramadan is a time of introspection and sacrifice, but it's also a time to come together with family and community, to build stronger relationships and nurture true understanding and love for all of our neighbors across communities of faith. It's incredibly important to come together to join with fellow Americans of various different religious backgrounds with different lived experiences who've had different lives than our own to really learn about and appreciate each other. Today and throughout Ramadan, we celebrate with Muslims across our country and open ourselves to gaining a deeper understanding of Islam and our Muslim neighbors. I'm wishing you a peaceful, reflective holy month to all who are celebrating. Ramadan Mubarak.
Hi, I'm Congressman Brendan Boyle. I want to wish you all a blessed and peaceful Ramadan from here in Pennsylvania. During this season, let us reflect on our blessings and on our common humanity during these difficult times. And let us all embrace the spiritual renewal that accompanies this season of Ramadan. I'd like to take a moment to thank the American Muslim and Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council for your noble work empowering Muslim American women and preparing them for leadership roles in our community. And with a rising tide of ethnic hate crimes across our nation, your work combating bigotry in many of our immigrant communities has never been more critical. As the son of an immigrant myself, I would like to personally thank you for your efforts advocating for all of our immigrant communities. I'm also thrilled to hear you will be opening up a new chapter right here in Philadelphia, enabling you to expand your important work across our region. Ramadan Mubarak and peace to all of you.